So guys, it's been 6 years since we did the camouflage paint job. I'm going to show you guys how it's held up. So 6 years ago, I painted the SkullDozer. This is the 2007 Chevrolet Silverado 2500. This was the actual classic work truck. So you can kind of see inside the fenders right here where it's white. This actually was a white truck. So if you guys came to this video from the original, we're going to go over and let you guys know how it's held up. As the first time you guys have seen this truck, you can look back at where the journey started, and we turned this plain old, crew cab work truck into a hog hunting and coyote hunting machine. As you can see, we've got the adventure rack, the seats we sit on when we go hog hunting on different properties, and this truck is built just to go in the nastiest of properties and work on these hogs and these coyotes for these landowners. So it was a pretty unique pattern that we decided to do, and we went over all of the steps that we did to paint this truck. And so I just kind of wanted to show you guys, as you guys look at it from a distance, you can tell, it's held up pretty well over the years. And I'm going to show you guys some problem spots that that I've noticed. But again, this truck has not been touched up, and it has not been painted over since the original paint job. So if we look at a couple different places, like some fluids leaked off of the bed right here, and you can see kind of the stain marks right there. And you can obviously see where I brush up against trees and stuff like that. But I'm gonna turn this camera around, but from a distance I want to show you guys, you can see some light spots that have developed over the years from just the sun and being out in the elements. But as you can see, it's held up pretty good. You see where I brushed up against a whole tree right there, and this is probably the lightest spot on the whole truck right here. So I may actually touch up that, because I don't know if I just got in a hurry, because you can see right here on the cab corner too, you see where it's kind of light right here from the sun and things like that. And I know why, because I backed this truck up to the house, and there's a big field to the right of the truck, and when the sun comes up, it's right there in the sun. So this side has got a lot more sun in the past 6 years than the other. But as you can tell, it's not bad. It's just, you can see a little light spot right here where the white paint's kind of trying to want to come through. But honestly, with the camouflage paint job itself, you can't tell. So I'm gonna show you guys, this has been pretty durable. There's only one spot on the hood actually that's chipped off, and I just don't know, I don't know what it is right there, but the white paint and everything is gone. So this is not a camouflage bonding issue. I think it's just a bad spot on the bodywork, period. So as you can tell, there is no white paint on it. So the white paint chipped off as well as the camouflage paint. And on the edges, like right in there, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a little bit of white paint right there. So you can see there's a different level. So that means all of it came off. So this isn't a camouflage not sticking issue as it is there was some sort of chemical on here or something that not only ate through the through the white paint and down to the primer. Something's not right in this little area. So, but anyways, I hadn't touched it up. Like I said, guys, have not touched up the truck in 6 years. And honestly, if you look right there, it still looks pretty dang good on the front end right there. And it's got some, you see the dark stuff, that is actually underneath a tree. It got kind of like a mildewy or whatever. And if you look at it, you can actually see where I've taken the pressure washer and washed. It looks a little better now, it looks more uniform, but when I first did it, I could actually see lines from the pressure washer. Took it to the car wash and tried to get that black stuff off, because it was like a kind of just like a little mold or mildew that was on the paint job from being underneath those trees. So, but I'm gonna turn the camera around and let you guys see some of the deep scratches and see how well it's held up. So you can see right here, I've ran into a few trees, broke this taillight actually, but you can see kind of some places where loading things up that it's kind of knocked off some of the camouflage paint, but it's all held up pretty good. And you guys can see the scratches. Like this was an actual whole tree I pushed up against, and you can see that right there. It actually pushed all the way across, but that was recently. Right here, this was a metal pole that was in the woods, and I was cutting a corner and I didn't realize that there was a metal pole in there for some reason. I don't know why it was there, but I caught it and it scratched up and it went deep. So you can see the white paint, but you can actually see all the brush, the thorns, all the thickets I drive through, and the branches, and it hasn't taken the paint off. Again, this is the only light spot on the truck, and I guess like I said, maybe I just got in a rush and I didn't really do a good job on you know, doing it thick, because you can see some places like right there is still dark. The edges are still dark, so maybe when I came across, I got in a hurry, and then when I touched up on that side, there's more paint. But again, that's the only really light spot. And again, you can see the scratches from trees and all kinds of stuff that I hit in the woods. So guys, this really held up, man. It's really been durable. Very pleased with it. This, again, I think this was metal. This was metal. I think it was kind of like another pole or like a street sign or something that was growed up in the woods or somewhere, and I pushed up against it, and you can see it scratched. The only places that the camouflage has actually come off of has been metal that is actually dug down to the white paint underneath it. As you guys can see, I mean, I still use and abuse the SkullDozer, guys. See, all these are branches pushed up against it. And I said, this is, I guess it was some hog bait, maybe some hog bait that had some different stuff in it, and it just hadn't come off. Maybe it's got grease in it, I don't know, but it hadn't really been, you know, it's not from the gas tank. It's actually from the top of the truck, as you can see where my bait buckets usually ride. And as you can tell, I'm brewing some stuff right now, but we're about to go bait some pigs, and I think like that's usually where I put my bait buckets, and I guess when I had my bait buckets up there, must have kind of poured over, and that's what that is. But yeah, guys, not bad. Here's another sort of light, not too bad. Yeah, and then chipped from, you know, like I said, obvious places loading it up. Or this is, you'll see right here, it's not really scratched as much as rubbed, because I step on this tire and grab a hold of that bar to climb on here to get on the four-wheeler when it's on the rack right here. So that's what all that is from me actually jumping up there. So there you go, guys, 6-year update. And you guys can see all of the actual camouflage paint and the colors that I use in the original video. You guys can look at the description below. At the end of this video, I'll put up a link to go to the original video if you guys want to watch the original video. And you guys can see how I kind of masked it off, how I prepped it, and how I painted it. And so I actually painted the whole truck in the green, the olive drab green, I believe. Again, you get the specific colors in the original video, but it originally had a base of green, then I masked it off, and then we painted it. But there it is, guys, 6 years. And a lot of you guys, you know, were questioning how durable it was, how long it was going to last, and all that good stuff. Well, here you go, 6 years later. So as long as you prep it right and you take your time and you give it a good coat, you know. You don't want to go over the top too thick, it'll chip, but you just want to make sure you get really good coverage. And again, I can't be any happier on how long it's lasted. I mean, really. So what I'll probably do is I may, just because now that I'm talking to you guys about it, now that'll probably end up bothering me, so I may end up taping that off again and just shooting this little section with the green again. But you know what, you don't know if you're gonna, you know, kind of domino into something bigger. I mean, I may tape that off and paint it, and it may look like a really fresh spot, and then I might have to do the whole side of the truck. But more than likely, I may you know, tape it off, paint that section, and then just go drive it through the woods so it'll match the rest. So appreciate you guys tuning in again. Here's your update for all you guys asking and wondering how it's held up over the years. There it is, Project SkullDozer. And also I'm gonna do the update on the marathon seat covers, so check back on that. And it's been 6 years since we put these seat covers in too, so I'm gonna go over that and show you guys how they're holding up. And the truck vault, that's another update coming. 6 years, guys. So this truck was built 6 years ago, and there's the truck vault, and we're gonna do an update on how it's holding up, how it looks, and how the drawers still move, and how well everything is still moving around, so you guys can see kind of how it's lasted over the years. So make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. We appreciate you guys as always, and till the next video, happy hunting, be safe out there.